Bihar caste survey triggered off the cat amongst the pigeons? Well, it certainly seems so because the 2024 electoral slogan now has become caste versus Garibi. Over the next half hour, we are going to try and analyze the history of caste politics in our country, the kind of impact it has had on parliamentary politics, whether it has really changed the scenario. But more importantly, we are going to get you those voices from the ground who are going to be affected by this entire caste reservation issue.
The report of Bihar caste survey is out, and in that report it is mentioned that 63% of the total population belongs to backward class and extremely backward class, 21% are scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, whereas unreserved category has a population of 15.5% in Bihar. Now we are in Sonpur and I have managed to gather people from almost all the caste and we are going to get a sense as to what the people from SC/STs, OBCs, general, extremely backward class, what these people think about this whole caste survey that was done, and what benefits they are going to get from this caste survey, what are their mood, how is it going to implicate in future. आप SC समाज से आते हैं, SC का भी पॉपुलेशन लगभग 19% है. अभी तक जो सरकारों ने काम किया है बिहार में, इससे क्या क्या फायदा मिला है आपको?
सरकार को जो सरकारी सुविधा मिलता है SC/ST को मिल रहा है. हाँ.
और कुछ आगे मिलने के लिए और कुछ
हम लोग तो प्रयास करेंगे कि सरकार करे, SC/ST पर ध्यान दे, नौकरी हर चीज़ में मतलब आगे बढ़ावे, यही हम लोग चाहते हैं. जो भी SC/ST ये सब जो बैकवर्ड मतलब बहुत आदमी को अभी घर ना है, न एथी है, छप्पर है, उस सब को मतलब आगे बढ़ाने का काम करें.
काम तो हुआ है बिहार में. माननीय नीतीश कुमार जी को, हम मुख्यमंत्री जी को धन्यवाद देना चाह रहा हूँ कि अनुसूचित जाति के लोग, अनुसूचित जनजाति के लोगों पर बिहार सरकार के द्वारा, माननीय उप मुख्यमंत्री तेजस्वी यादव के द्वारा ही SC/ST की हर योजना लाया गया है. उससे कल्याणकारी योजना जिससे हर अनुसूचित जाति के लोग को उस योजना का लाभ मिल रहा है.
नीतीश कुमार ने कुर्मी जाति के लिए बिहार का डेवलपमेंट कर रहे हैं वो, लेकिन कुर्मी जाति के लिए क्या काम किया है?
सबके लिए उत्थान के लिए काम किया. कुर्मी जाति के लिए नीतीश कुमार बहुत विकास के काम किए हैं. पूरा विकास पुरुष के नाम से इनको जाना जाता है. बहुत अच्छे काम करते हैं, बहुत अच्छे मुख्यमंत्री हैं.
तो क्या सिर्फ कुर्मी जाति के लिए?
नहीं, सब जाति के लिए, सबके लिए होना चाहिए. नहीं, सबके लिए होना चाहिए. कुर्मी जाति क्यों होना चाहिए? सबको होना चाहिए. हम जाति विशेष प्रकार सबको होना चाहिए. सबको लेकर, सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका भी काम होना चाहिए.
आपको नहीं लगता कि रिजर्वेशन का जो पैमाना होना चाहिए वो आय के स्वरूप में होना चाहिए, जिसकी जितनी आय है उसके हिसाब से रिजर्वेशन मिलना चाहिए?
आर्थिक सर्वेक्षण और ये जातीय सर्वेक्षण में दोनों में फर्क है. तो मोटा मोटी जो यह सर्वेक्षण हुआ, वह यह सर्वेक्षण हुआ कि इसमें कमोबेश आर्थिक भी है, इसी में जुटा हुआ है. तो आर्थिक रूप से जो कमजोर है तो उसके लिए प्रावधान तो किया गया है, शायद संभवतः राज्य सरकार ने किया है.
क्षत्रियों में भी गरीब होते हैं.
जी,
पर होते हैं. उनके लिए क्या किया गया?
उनके लिए कुछ नहीं किया जा रहा है. आर्थिक रूप से जो विपन्न है उनके लिए कुछ नहीं है. जो संपन्न है वो तो अपना पैरवी चाहे धन के बदौलत MLA MLC वगैरह ये सब हो जा रहे हैं. लेकिन जो गरीब है और शिक्षित वर्ग है वो भी इसमें नहीं आ रहा है. वो न चुनाव लड़ सकता है, न कहीं जाके कुछ करने के लिए कर सकता है. वो तो ऐसी लाचार है.
हम लोग के समाज में जो हमारा सिर्फ हमारा जो जाति में है कि 3-4 भाग में बांट दिया गया है. वो 19 में डाल दिया गया, 20 में 13 में डाल दिया गया. और जो विभाजन करने का नीतीश कुमार जी जो कर रहे हैं, ये विभाजन करके हम लोग को पीछे कर रहे हैं. और बनिया कास्ट का सुरक्षा नाम का कोई चीजें नहीं है. एक्सटॉर्शन, रंगदारी जो भी है, हम लोग के लिए सुरक्षा नाम का कोई चीज नहीं है. हाँ, इसमें बनिया हर जगह से शोषित होता है.
तो आगे आने वाले चुनाव में क्या क्या पैमाना होगा आप लोगों के लिए? नेता चुनना,
देखिए, हम लोग का जो जाति के है, हम लोग के जो भी है, हम लोग इस बार तो हम लोग नीतीश जी का विरोध करेंगे, हर हाल में विरोध करेंगे. कारण कि इनका फर्स्ट टर्म बहुत अच्छा था, लेकिन इस बार का जो इधर का जो चल रहा है, उथल पुथल इधर उधर से, हम लोग को बहुत ज्यादा कष्ट होता है, बनिया वर्ग को.
क्या लगता है ये जो कास्ट सर्वे हुआ है
ये बिल्कुल सही हुआ है. और जाति इस देश की एक सच्चाई है और आरक्षण हक है, संवैधानिक हक है. हम सरकार चलाते हैं, हम नहीं जानेंगे कि कौन बिरादरी कितना है संख्या में, किस हाल में है, तब तक उसके बारे में हम क्या योजना बना सकते हैं, क्या विकास कर सकते हैं।
आपको लगता है कि 30-40 साल से जो सरकारें हैं बिहार में, चाहे राजद का हो चाहे जदयू का हो, इन लोगों ने सफिशिएंट काम किया है मुस्लिम समाज के लिए? अब मैं आपसे पूरे मुस्लिम समाज की बात करूंगा, क्योंकि 17% मुस्लिम समाज है हमारे बिहार में।
अल्पसंख्यक के लिए सरकार अच्छा काम कर रही है, जगह जगह कब्रिस्तान की घेराबंदी हुई है, मदरसा है, उर्दू शिक्षक की बहाली हो रही है। हमारे समझ से बहुत अच्छा काम कर रही है, आगे भी करेगी।
सरकार की योजनाएं जो आती हैं, उन योजनाओं का लाभ आप लोगों को नहीं मिलता है?
नहीं मिलता है। कोई बस राशन छोड़े कोई चीज नहीं मिलता है।
वोट सब हम गिरा,
हम लोग वोट गिराते हैं।
चुनाव के समय पे जब नेता आते हैं तो आप लोगों से क्या क्या वादा करते हैं?
वादा करके भुला जाते हैं लोग।
क्या क्या वादा मिलता है?
कि बन जाएगा तुम लोग का मकान, जमीन मिल जाएगा, सब हो जाएगा, काम निकल जाता है सर, तो दुख भी सर जाते हैं, फिर झांके पारे नहीं आते हैं हम लोग।
कोई नहीं आते हैं।
अब बताइए हम तो 200-300 आदमी कहाँ जाएंगे? न जगह है, न जमीन है, न नौकरी है, न चाकरी है। ये तो ऐसा सोनपुर गांव है हमारे बाबू लोग के कि हम सके जिये थी।
तो मतलब आप लोगों के हिसाब से जो आरक्षण की बात होती है,
हाँ।
उससे कोई मतलब
ना, कोई ना।
मिल भी जाए तो भी फायदा नहीं
कोई
मिलता।
फायदा नहीं, कोई फायदा नहीं।
Jats, Gujars, Marathas, Patidars. At various points in history, multiple groups have agitated, demanding reservation under the OBC category. Many of these communities, in fact, are well-to-do in their respective states, leading to questions whether economic backwardness and not caste should be the real criteria for reservation. But history has taught us, ultimately what matters is whether your community's numeric strength can make a political difference. August 7, 1990, Prime Minister VP Singh announced in Parliament that the Mandal Commission report would be implemented. A report commissioned by Morarji Desai but put into cold storage for 10 years given its potential to be a Pandora's box. But VP Singh decided to stir the hornet's nest. Other backward classes were granted 27% reservation in jobs in central government services and public sector units, taking the total reserved seat for OBCs, scheduled castes and scheduled tribes to 49%. For the general quota students and aspirants, this was unacceptable. Anti-reservation protests began across the country. Highways were shut, buses, trains burned, public property damaged. But what really shook Raisina Hills was the decision of a Deshbandhu College student to set himself on fire. September 19, 1990, a 20-year-old student from South Delhi's Deshbandhu College shook the consciousness of the country. Rajiv Goswami, a Punjabi Brahmin, set himself on fire outside Delhi's Safdarjung Hospital against the decision to implement backward class quota. It set off a chain reaction with reports of students self-immolating coming in from across North India. VP Singh had to backtrack. He lost his government and Mandal politics soon made way for the Kamandal. With BJP's rise to power, clamour grew for reservation on economic grounds, but so did demand for caste census. The last data on the caste composition of Indian population was recorded almost 92 years ago in 1931. 1941 census did enumerate caste, but the details were not published. Subsequent census only recorded SC/ST data. Mandal Commission pegged OBC population at 52%, but several other studies had different numbers. In 2006, the UPA government passed the Central Education Reservation and Amendment Act, which meant that in top elite educational institutions like IITs, IIMs and top medical colleges, OBCs could now avail 27% reservation. This combined with the quota for SC and ST meant that the total number of reserved seats now stood at 49.5%. The unreserved category students were up in arms. Youth for Equality was born. AIMS, Safdarjung and similar hospitals and medical colleges in Delhi saw massive protests demanding a rollback. Dr. Anirudh Lochan and Dr. Shubham remember those days like it was yesterday.
When I actually found about this news, I was standing in front of my library in my University College of Medical Sciences complex, and there was a sense of disbelief to begin with, and then there was despondency. I was never in the top 5% of my class, never have been, never claimed to be, but I was a good student. So when this came out, there was a sense of alienation, that perhaps I'm not supposed to be where I am. Perhaps my country doesn't need me or deserve me because of something which my great-grandfather might have done. But So I've never been the person to stay quiet. None of us have been. That was what sets us apart from the rest.
That is how Youth for Equality was born, but Youth for Equality soon hit the street. And I remember very clearly the tear gas that was used, the water cannons that were used, especially in central Delhi when you decided to march towards the residences of the ministers concerned. Were doctors, medical students prepared to bear the might of the state in this way? Your personal story.
So, you would be amazed how unprepared we were. I distinctly remember, we were at Maulana Azad. They were starting from UCMS, and we were planning that, we'll go down to Arjun Singh's house. He used to be the education minister, HRD minister, if I remember correctly. And we never knew that our phones were being tapped. We never knew that there were people following us on motorbikes. By the time we got into buses, we are not of the mob culture. We didn't know what to expect. We were not allowed to go across India Gate. Our buses were diverted directly from the college to Janpat, and we didn't know anatomy of Janpat. We didn't know what's to be done there. Jantar Mantar. I mean, that was just a architectural marvel for us till the time we entered Jantar Mantar, and that was actually the changing point where everybody realized that this is not something which has to be taken lightly. So there was a very big march from Maulana Azad to the Ramleela ground, and believe me, that was the biggest intellectual march of that time, where we had at least 1,000 people. Our professors from medical colleges joined us.
It was perceived political benefits that perhaps got the then Law Minister Veerappa Moily to ask for caste enumeration ahead of 2011 census. But his cabinet colleague P. Chidambaram red flagged several problems with the demand. The NDA government maintained that caste enumeration is not part of policy, but in 2016 it commissioned a socio-economic caste survey whose report is still not public.
यूपीए ने, कांग्रेस पार्टी ने 2011 में कास्ट बेस्ड सेंसस किया। कास्ट सेंसस का डेटा आप रिलीज कीजिए, देश की जनता को पता लग जाए देश में ओबीसी कितने हैं, दलित कितने हैं, आदिवासी कितने हैं।
2021 census is delayed. Ministry of Home Affairs says it is because of the COVID pandemic. But with each passing day, the demand for making this a caste census is only growing. BJP has added another dimension by announcing 10% quota for the EWS. Prime Minister, however, says that Garibi should be the only criteria for affirmative action. Garib should be the only beneficiary. But the aggressive wooing of the OBC community by the NDA also makes it clear that no ruling elite can ignore the reality of caste in India. With Arpit Seth in New Delhi, this is Arunima.
While North India has been the focus of Mandal politics, South hasn't been untouched by caste-based politics either. In fact, the entire Dravidian movement was to challenge the caste division. Precisely why DMK and its leader Udayanidhi Stalin continues to maintain that opposing Sanatana Dharma's principles is the need of the hour. And that's precisely why the AIADMK and other parties are not lashing out at the DMK either. We've come to the iconic Marina Beach to capture the sentiments of the people of Tamil Nadu. Of late, there's a lot of talk about Sanatana Dharma and why the DMK wants to eradicate the policies and principles of Sanatana Dharma. Is that the view of the majority of the people of Tamil Nadu, that certain principles of Sanatana Dharma is against the oppressed community, and that's why eradicating the principles of Sanatana Dharma is the need of the hour?
Yes, of course. Sanatana Dharma is one thing where people have started speaking that it is about if someone speaks bad about or they wanted to eradicate Sanatana, they start saying that people are against Hinduism. Hinduism has got nothing to do with Sanatana. Sanatana is, if you ask me honestly speaking, it is Brahminism. Of late, when you look at Udayanidhi's speech, I don't think he has spoken anything wrong about it. He has told that Sanatanam has to be eradicated and social justice and equality should be followed is what he has told. He has never told that the people have to eradicate Hinduism or Hindus from the country. No, it is not like that. People have started making mock of it with false information, trolling in the Facebook, WhatsApp and all those places. But in case if you look into his complete speech, he has not spoken anything wrong about it. He had only told that Sanatanam has to be eradicated. It's because we Tamilians, we follow social justice, equality is what we look at. That's about my view on that.
Recently, there's been a lot of talk about caste-based census. The Bihar government has come up with a survey, and now other parties and other political parties are also now trying to push for a census and a survey to uplift the backward communities. What is your view on this?
The present caste survey only, if you take it, means vote bank politics only. So you should take a more comprehensive survey so that it helps in all spheres of economic activity and also all spheres of the upliftment of the downtrodden, which is the main reason for which the social justice, which was started before independence very early by Tamil Nadu. So to fulfill that dream completely, you have to take a comprehensive survey. That is my view.
Right. Will this census help people from the backward communities also do better?
Yes, definitely. Once the caste census happens, we'll get to know the actual number of people in each caste. So, and we can also find out as to what is their state, what state they are in, and what more developmental activities needs to be taken specific to their particular region, or maybe their how do we improve their lifestyle. All these details we can get once we have an in-depth knowledge as to how they are living in present. Based on that, and for that reason alone especially, I think caste census is definitely required.
भाई और बहनों, क्योंकि चौकीदार
आप दिल्ली का जो दायित्व मुझे दे रहे हैं, मतलब कि आप एक चौकीदार बिठा रहे हैं, और इसलिए यहां बैठा हुआ हर व्यक्ति, देश के कोने कोने में बैठा हुआ हर व्यक्ति, जो गांव में है वो भी, जो शहर में है वो भी, जो पढ़ा लिखा है वो भी, जो अनपढ़ है वो भी, जो पुरुष है वो भी, जो महिला है वो भी, जो खेत में काम करता है वो भी, जो डॉक्टर है वो भी, जो शिक्षक है वो भी, समाज के लिए काम करने वाला व्यापारी हो, कामगार हो, हर कोई चौकीदार है।
If the 2019 polls were about the opposition's Chaukidar Chor Hai attack versus Main Bhi Chaukidar, reinforcing Prime Minister Modi's clean image, the battle for 2024 is caste versus Garibi.
सबसे बड़ी जाति मेरे लिए गरीब है, हमें गरीब की चिंता करनी है, हमें गरीब का जीवन बदलना है।
The caste googly was unleashed by Bihar when it announced the statistics of a caste survey. A staggering 84% combined strength of OBC, SC and ST, a figure which had the opposition rubbing their hands in glee, anticipating a successful electoral mantra. The first to tweet was Rahul Gandhi. Caste census and reservation for OBC, SC and ST is his new obsession.
There is another thing that the government likes to distract everybody from, and that thing is called the caste census. For some reason, and I don't quite understand what this reason is, the moment the opposition raises the issue of caste census, the BJP tries to create a new distraction, a new sudden, event, so that the OBC community and the people of India look the other way.
Congress has promised caste census if it comes to power at the centre and also in all the poll-bound states. In fact, caste census demand was first raised by the Congress during the Karnataka elections. The party believes it was a winning strategy in a caste-divided state like Karnataka. And so the opposition wants to try its luck once again.
हमको कोई पता नहीं क्या लगा, हम तो आपको कह रहे हैं कि जो हम लोग बिहार में कर रहे हैं, कोई आज तक किया है बिहार में जितना बढ़िया होगा, और इसके बारे में हम लोग जो उसके हित में कोई भी काम सभी जातियों का ये नेम कर रहे हैं, एक ही बात हम कर रहे हैं, सबके हित में जो काम आगे बढ़ेगा तो वो हम लोग करेंगे।
बिहार में जातीय जनगणना हमने कर दिया, ये पूरा देश भर में होना चाहिए। इससे पूरे देश के गरीबों को, दलितों को, सबको लाभ होगा और सबको वाजिब हक मिलेगा। अभी तक हक नहीं मिलता था, जातीय जनगणना नहीं होना चाहिए।
OBCs
The caste census issue has the potential of becoming Mandal 2.0. It had worked for VP Singh, catapulting him to becoming a messiah of the backward. This despite the strong and violent protests by the upper caste and youth. Rahul Gandhi is willing to take the risk, hence the blitzkrieg by the Congress. The reason is twofold. One, simple arithmetic about the OBC, SC and ST numbers coming together to swing the results in favour of the opposition. Two is caste being the glue that will hold together the otherwise divided INDIA front. It could also be the magnet for fence-sitters who the INDA front is wooing.
कांग्रेस पार्टी की राज इस छत्तीसगढ़ में आएगी और आज जितने भरोसे पूरे उन्होंने अनुष्ठान किया और जो उनके आगे आने वाले जो मैनिफेस्टोस है इलेक्शन मैनिफेस्टो में जो और वायदे करेंगे वो पूरा कांग्रेस पार्टी निभाएगी.
But more importantly, Rahul Gandhi hopes to revive the Soot Boot Ki Sarkar tag, which didn't stick in 2019. But it made a comeback during the Women's Reservation Bill.
प्रधानमंत्री कहते हैं कि वो ओबीसी के लिए बहुत काम कर रहे हैं. अगर प्रधानमंत्री इतना काम कर रहे हैं तो 90 लोगों में से सिर्फ 3 लोग ओबीसी कम्युनिटी से क्यों हैं? ओबीसी हिंदुस्तान के 5% बजट को कंट्रोल कर रहा है, ओबीसी ऑफिसर्स.
But in this war over caste, Prime Minister Modi has found a strong rebuttal.
अगर हक की बात करनी है तो मैं कहूंगा कि इस देश के संसाधनों पर पहला हक भारत के गरीब का है. कांग्रेस देश के लोगों में आपसी खाई बढ़ाना चाहती है, वैर भाव बढ़ाना चाहती है. इसलिए कांग्रेस अब पूरी नई भाषा बोलने लगी है. मेरे परिवारजनों, कांग्रेस के दशकों के शासन ने देश को सिर्फ गरीबी दी है. कांग्रेस ने समाज को जाति के आधार पर बांटने का ही काम किया है ताकि इनका वोट बैंक सुरक्षित रहे.
The mainstay of BJP's caste combination has been upper caste and lower OBCs. Both have been the weak spot of the opposition, particularly the Congress. In fact, the strong point in favour of the BJP is that the Prime Minister himself belongs to the OBC community. The comment of Rahul Gandhi, which had led to his conviction and disqualification as an MP, was the point raised by the BJP, that when he attacked Modi, he had attacked the backward. Modi's formula is a win-win one also. The fact is, just as the implementation of the Mandal Commission report had stoked upper caste resentment, many youth too objected to it. There are those who feel that reservation, if at all, has to be based on economic condition, a point made by the Prime Minister too. So the battle lines have now been drawn between caste and upper caste on the one hand and the poor versus the rich on the other. In fact, the BJP has begun its counter-attack by calling out the hypocrisies of the Congress. One, that when UPA was in power, it never increased jobs of those who belong to OBCs. In fact, even in Congress-ruled states, the opportunities for OBC, SC and ST have been low. And now the BJP has shown an earlier speech by Rajiv Gandhi as Prime Minister when he had spoken in favour of a casteless society.
Reservation was envisaged as a time-bound affirmative action to help historically wronged communities. But 75 years after independence, there is more demand from more groups within the country to be added to the reservation pie. The demand for OBC sub-quota within the women's reservation quota only showed that reservation politics is very much here to stay. Thanks for watching.